Steve, just how important was the block shots today in the defense, and also I know they out rebounded you on the offensive glass, but you guys got some timely offensive rebounds as well.
Yeah, Jordan had the biggest rebound of the game that led to Clay's three, and that was the key down the stretch. That changed the whole game. But yeah, I mean, I was thrilled with our defense, our effort. We did make a few mistakes on three-point shooters, fouled a few of them, let a few of them get free. But Cleveland's tough; they put a lot of pressure on you, and they did have those 19 offensive boards. So, but a lot of misses, a lot of long rebounds and misses that are tough to retrieve.
What went into the decision to start Jordan, even though Zaza was active, and will that be a thing moving forward?
No, I'll start Zaza next game against Utah. This is a tough matchup game just because they start Kevin Love. I had planned to play Zaza against Tristan Thompson, but they didn't bring Tristan in until the beginning of the second quarter, which is David's slot. And so at that point, I just felt like it was a smaller, faster game when David was out and stayed away from the matchups there.
There are some situations where Jordan was guarding LeBron. What kind of poise did Jordan show tonight on a big stage?
Yeah, he was great. I mean, I think he learned a lot tonight. I mean, it's obviously a national TV game and Christmas and LeBron and Cleveland, all that stuff. And you could see there were times where he made some rookie mistakes, and a couple times he should have shot the ball when he didn't. But this is all part of the experience and part of the development. And he's really growing, and he gave us some great minutes, made that huge play at the end, and really had a couple of good defensive isolation plays against LeBron as well.
I know you said Zaza is going to start next game, but do you anticipate Jordan sometime starting, going smaller, seeing what he could do tonight? Is this something that's going to be an option going forward?
Everything's an option going forward. I like what Zaza does for us in the beginning of games with his physicality and his screen setting. We've missed that, and we have not set good screens over the last few weeks without him. I like the tone that he sets early. That lineup, that five-man lineup, has been great for us all year. And Jordan will still play, but matchups can always dictate a lineup change if we want.
Coach, it kind of started last finals. KD guarding LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Most coaches, try to rest their guys on that end. What gives you so much confidence that he can still exert his energy defensively and offensively?
Well, he wants to guard him, first of all. I mean, he asks for the assignment. But it just makes sense. Every matchup is different. It makes more sense for them to have LeBron guard Draymond. The last couple of years, it made more sense for us to have Clay on Kyrie and slide Steph over to JR or whoever. So matchups dictate everything for coaches, and it just so happens that KD is the right matchup for us against Cleveland, and he wants the job.
Steve, kind of along those lines, what Kevin does on both ends like that, how much does that fuel you guys when he's blocking shots, LeBron's driving, and did it bring you back to the finals a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, Kevin is at his best under pressure in big games. There are times in some lesser games where he loses his focus a little bit, but you get to these games where there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. He tends to be on top of his game. That block late in the game was the key defensive play. I mentioned Jordan's offensive rebound. That was the key play on offense, but the block that ended up being off of LeBron was huge.
Hey, Steve, along those lines with Kevin's defense, how would you say things are similar or different from his defense last year compared to this year so far?
I just think he's more engaged with his shot blocking. He's coming over from the weak side. He's coming back down on shooters rather than just standing on the perimeter and watching the flight of the ball. He's coming back in, digging, helping with trying to block shots on the backside. So just the activity level is the main thing.
Steve, before the game, you were talking about the joy that Steph brings whenever he's around. Did you see how much he was celebrating in the second row and kind of talking to players and coaches throughout the game?
I actually had to pay attention to what was going on the floor. So I did not see him celebrating, but it doesn't surprise me.
Steve, a couple technicals in the first half and a lot of arguing. It looked like it could become one of those games where it's too much, but it didn't really transpire that way. Was much said in that regard, and was it satisfying for you to see your team kind of regroup?
Yeah, I mean, one of the early timeouts, I told the guys 6 turnovers, 2 technicals, 3 missed assignments defensively. Like we were not. I shouldn't say we weren't ready. I think we were kind of too amped up and trying to push the tempo too much, forcing turnovers. And then defensively, we missed a couple of rotations, and then KD and Draymond both got upset, and I'm okay with that, especially with the first one with KD. He got fouled on the shot, and sometimes as a shooter, you got to let the ref know so that they don't let them do that all game. And so I was okay with that. I just wanted us to settle down, and it took us till late second quarter. I thought one of the keys to the game was we had a very unusual lineup, maybe from the 6-minute mark to about a minute and a half. And that group settled us down. Nick Young was out there, Omri, JB, Kevin, and my memory is failing me now. Patty, I think. McCaw. That group did a good job and extended the lead a little bit and took care of the ball, and we finally settled down, and that got us to halftime in a good place. And it wasn't like, we had guys knocking down shots and all that. They just executed, and they just played, and I thought that was a key stretch.
Steve, you mentioned when Draymond came back that the game he's trying to work off some rust. Did you feel like he was up to 100%? It sure looked like he was back in his flow again.
He was phenomenal. Defensively, flying all over the place. He rebounded well tonight. He had 11 assists. So, he was Draymond. Did he get a triple-double? Yeah. He did. Yeah, this is who Draymond is. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to turn it over a little bit. He might get a technical foul. But it's hard to win without his competitive desire and ferocity, and I thought that was a big part of the game tonight.
Coach, on Saturday you said that you hope that they play today like they're having fun out there. Did you feel that they did that today?
Yeah, more energy, more fun for sure. It's just I think it was just one of those nights the other night, and that was the exception rather than the rule.
Love had, I think, 31 and 18.
Yeah,
how different is playing them when he's starting at center? They're bringing Thompson off the bench and going smaller more.
It's a little bit different. They don't seem to play those two guys together much, and so it opens up the floor even more, and you have more room to guard, more room to cover. And so that's the main difference. But I thought he was great tonight, and fouled him on a 3-point shot, I think, and he got free for several threes when we did not make the rotation and stay out. But it's hard to do all that because you got LeBron coming downhill and you want to help.
Obviously, Kevin was big as far as protecting the rim, but I think they shot 25% inside the paint. What was the key to that interior defense in your mind?
Well, with the lineups that we've been playing, we got a ton of length. JB, Kevin, and Draymond on the front line is a lot of speed and length, and they can all switch out onto the guards. And obviously Clay and Andre and Sean and Patty, they can all do that. Nick as well. So it's a really good switching lineup. We're cutting off penetration for the most part, and holding that team to 32% shooting, it's a hell of an effort.
Coach, can you comment about playing on Christmas? Given back in the day when you played, and just LeBron's comments on Twitter, talking about it on Twitter. He made a comment saying that it sucked being away from family.
Yeah, I agree with him. Christmas games are awesome at home. And they're tough on the road, but obviously this is the life we live, and sometimes you're at home, sometimes you're on the road, and they're really fun games to play in, but it's no fun to be away from your family. But we understand that's part of the deal.
Steve, how important was it, Clay, finding his shot there early for you guys after kind of a rough go 3-point shooting the other night?
I don't even pay any attention to that. If he has a bad game, he almost always comes back and has a good one. But, with Steph out, obviously, we've relied so heavily on Clay, and he was awesome tonight, just tremendous. And he and KD obviously were the main long-range shooters for us tonight. But, Patty made one, which was a big one, and Draymond knocked a couple down as well. without Steph, obviously we don't have the same spacing and flow and pace and all that, but we've got a lot of guys who can step up. And but Clay has been our rock all year long. Thank you.